For my library assignment, I am going to critique the graphic novel Preacher, created by, I forgot the guy's name. What is his name? So without further ado, we will go inside, check it out, flip the pages, scroll through, and see what Preacher is all about. So now that we're inside, let's check out the graphic novel. The working title is Preacher. This is book one of six. There are 6 books in this series, so I am going to be talking about book one. The title is Preacher. The creative team, the writer is Garth Ennis. The artist is Steve Dillon. The colorist is Matt Hollingsworth, and the letterer is Clem Robbins. The publisher is Vertigo. The number of pages is 352, although the story book one actually ends on page 330. The rest is just filler, or at least I think that's what it's called, filler. Moving on. Preacher is a very unique graphic novel made up of 6 books, something similar to anthology or compilation. I'm leaning more on a compilation since an anthology is, it deals with music. Book one has 12 chapters, and within those chapters, each act is broken down. For instance, in chapter 7, NYPD Blue, Act 1 ends on 183. Act 2 begins on 184 and ends on 196. And then Act 3 begins on 197 and ends on page 202. I'm not sure if the entire book adheres to quarter, half, quarter pacing, but this chapter seems to. As far as I can tell, each page, chapter, and entire book has a clear beginning, middle, and end, as you can clearly see in this panel here. In this panel, Tulip has died and now sits in the presence of God. God has given her a second chance, resurrects her, and lets her know he loves her and wants her to live and love him. Boom. That's God's agenda. I don't necessarily know if that's Tulip's agenda, but it's God's. So moving on. One of the biggest changes in the main character, Jesse Custer, and the reason is his story arcs from where he is now to how he became who he is now through flashback. Jesse went from a sweet kid to seeing his dad die, then his mom, and then after that, watching his crazy grandma turn him into a monster. I think Ennis and Dillon use effective transition in book one of Preacher. There is one panel where we know we are in the morgue. Also, these images establish location. The story utilizes the mini comic for the most part in quite a few of its pages, like when Jesse is possessed by the demon angel and the entity incinerates the church, and then the people in it. You can see from this shot here, and you can see from this shot here. I think it works. There are some panels that don't point the reader to the next page, but the story is so engaging, you want to turn the page anyway. Like this screenshot and this screenshot. One thing I noticed on the transitions though, a lot of them don't transition like a normal comic book would. Like for instance, there are some panels that the artist drew pictures that it doesn't take your eye into the next page, but like I said before, it doesn't matter because the story is so engaging that you want to turn the page anyway. There's a couple of instances where characters are facing the wrong direction, or there's objects in the book that are going the opposite direction that you want to turn the page, but it doesn't matter because either they're getting shot or something has happened that it makes you want to turn the page to the to the next page. So I think Ennis and the artist Dylan, they they work together as a team well, because the story is just that engaging, from the photos, or from the drawings to the artwork, and the story as a whole. For the most part, I mean, I could say this here book is a little not a little, but it's a lot graphic. It's a little racist, but the choice of the N word in there is a little bit edgy, but hey, it works. Let's see, what else can I talk about this book? I think the readers know where they are in the book. There are a couple of places where, I mean, it's plain as day. Dallas, Texas. It's in the dialogue. Dallas, Texas. Anvil. I think they went to they went to New York. That's established from just the buildings. You could see it. You don't even have to read the dialogue to to know that, hey, that's New York. Reading the dialogue, like I said before, they're in Dallas. I think they go to San Antonio. And I mean, the characters are you got Jesse Custer, the main character. You got Tulip, Jesse's old girlfriend. I think they gonna get back together, but you have to wait and see. And then you have, what's his name? He's a vampire, and this book is crazy. I mean, it's a crazy novel. Cassidy. Cassidy is the vampire. He takes a bite out of crime, literally. You have Sheriff Meeker, I think, is in here, and Sheriff Roots, Hugo Roots. They thought he was crazy, but come to find out, he wasn't so crazy after all. The story is crazy. So this book is really, it's really something that you would have to read. It's a quick read. I think it's a quick read because you just want to keep flipping the pages. And I didn't. I bought the. I went ahead and bought the book. I wanted to get it the fastest way, and I didn't want to have to go through the library and get it. Since I saw it on Amazon, I went ahead and bought the digital copy. That way I could grab screenshots and use it in my presentation. Right. Anyway, it's a blast being in this class, and all right, I'm out.